mentioned before the break that there was a high-profile departure in college basketball. Caleb Grill, who, as we all know, put up 31 in a big-time early season win against North Carolina, was dismissed. Now, I don't recall exactly what the language was, Jeff. It was something like, you should be used to it not meeting the standards, right, of the program, which is what I would say about you tonight and every other night that you were on this show. But what does that mean? Like, what the hell does that mean? Does not meet the standards?
So it means that over and over, he has not done the types of things that TJ Otzelberger expected of him. Nothing egregious, nothing illegal, just not being a good teammate over and over, according to my sources. And it got to a point where they just felt like, you know what, it was hurting. The way Iowa State has been able to do it for the last 2 years is built on like toughness, togetherness, getting the most out of their ability, playing harder, playing together. And Caleb Grill was getting in the way of that. He wasn't doing those things. So I was told he had multiple opportunities. It didn't work. Again, his head got pretty big after that 31-point performance back in Portland that I was at against Carolina. And they're 2-5, I think, in the last 7.
Yeah, they're kind of coming apart.
Yeah, I think it wasn't just TJ Otzelberger, but I think it was more, and a lot of the players as well.
That was a humiliating loss at home to Oklahoma. Yes. I mean, just because Oklahoma got run out of the gym tonight against an actually good team in Kansas State, right? But I do think it's not normal. This guy's a senior. He's shooting 37% from 3. It's not normal for in the first day of March. Oh, by the way, you're just off the team.
Because you tolerated this much, and then you're thinking like how bad it had to be. Like you're at the end of the damn season, and then finally you get to the end, and you're like, man, you can't take it no more. Like the end is over.
Right.
It's already here.
Right. You don't need a 37. You can't deal with that shit for 3 more weeks for 37% shooting from 3.
Yeah.
So what's really going on, Jeff Goodman? You gotta really get into it, man.
No, that's it. I'm telling you. That's it. It was just over and over.
He must have been like, you know what? Sometimes less is more. We're already struggling.
And you're not winning. You're losing with a guy who's not buying in. So you're saying, you know what? If I'm going to lose with him,
I'm going to lose my way. Sit down.
I'm going to lose without him. Let me lose without him and the headaches. So I again, that's kind of what I was told here.
Sometimes as a coach, right, you sort of have to say, this is my line. And even if it might compromise me in the short term, like I gotta send a message to the rest of my team that like, this is not a place you come if you want to be a bad teammate,
that's what it is, John. That's a big part of it. Their culture, right?
Yeah.
Their culture is going to be what I said it was earlier.
It has to be, because they're not a school that's going to out-talent people.
Right.
So that's just a big part of what they're doing. If you're not buying in, you got to go. Like nobody.
Look at what it was when TJ was there as an assistant RC, under Hoiberg, and at the end McDermott. It was who? George Niang, Monty Moore, like dudes that just were culture guys. That's why they won.
Yeah. No, I think listen, maybe it doesn't happen in the middle, or I guess the end, like the very end of the season. But I mean, I can't tell you how many times, and you guys know too, where it happens at the end of the season, where you have those coach and player meetings. And you say, listen, like I'm trying to go this way, and and we'll get to Penny later, but there were multiple instances after last season I know directly where he just went to guys who he felt like were not good teammates and were a little bit toxic, and he said, look, you're a good player for me, but I'm moving on, and it's depending on who you ask, it's worked out pretty well. But, I guess, again, as a coach, you do have to certainly make those calculations. So this was one where, you just see it and you're like, man, this is a senior, this is a 4-year guy. I know he had that year at UNLV, but, sometimes you gotta send those messages.